Okay, everyone, welcome to the November 1st Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. First off, we have adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight. Can I have somebody move that for me, please? Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Butler. Adoption of the meeting minutes from October 18th. Would someone like to move that? Deputy Mayor Goss, seconder. Councillor Connors, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with through this meeting and meetings to come, of course. Visitors, presentations, and petitions. We don't have any in-house today or this evening, but I do have a couple of notes on that. On Friday, I was honored to be able to join members of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 50 Kelligrews for the signing of the Poppy Proclamation. And of course, this is poppy season from now until Remembrance Day, November 11th. And of course, it's a great way for all of us to show our support for our veterans and those serving by making a contribution at just about any place around town for poppy. And of course, the money goes to aid our veterans and the Royal Canadian Legion. So it's a great fundraiser that they have. And of course, it's done in the spirit of remembering and honoring our veterans and those who are serving. Also, this evening, to mark Crohn's and Colitis Month awareness, the town hall is lit up red outside this evening. The Crohn's and colitis affects more than 270,000 Canadians, and of course, many of those here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So we have lit up the town red this evening to promote awareness for Crohn's and Colitis Month. Okay, moving on to new business. I'm going to start on my left with Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. I got a few items, but most of them will be covered off and in my public works speaking notes. Just one other, this Friday night is the opening of the senior hockey season again here in Conception Bay South, the Avalon East Senior Hockey League, and look forward to the game on Friday evening. I just remembered, unfortunately, I won't be there. I'll be in Gander on the municipalities convention, but you know, some great ice hockey is available in CBS this year, the juniors included. But we look forward to an exciting season, and hopefully the cup will come back to CBS.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Butler.
Oh, Dr. going that way. You fooled me tonight. Okay, let me see. I got a few things. Further to you mentioning November, the veterans poppy opening. I was at the seniors Halloween dance yesterday and had a chat with one of our veterans. And the Monument of Honor, our town Monument of Honor, is on the cover of the Provincial Veterans magazine. It looks very nice there too. He gave me a copy of it and I forgot to bring it tonight. I meant to and I didn't. And apparently the Lab 3 will be on next year's. It's only a once-a-year publication, so that's pretty good. Let me see. Downtown CBS Trailway Loop. Another section of the Trailway Loop has been completed from Anchorage Road to Talkville Road. We would like to extend our appreciation to the downtown CBS businesses for supporting this important infrastructure and their goal of increasing pedestrian activity and safety within the area. Since the project commenced in 2016, the business community have invested $310,000 in the project. Now, I was at the seniors Halloween, as I just said, yesterday. Boy, I tell you, I hadn't fooled yesterday. Not until I spoke did they know it was me. So that was pretty good. What a great turnout. So many in costumes. They just love it. And was kind of different this year because so many came up to me and thanked me, but really to thank the staff for everything that they do all the time. And one of the residents actually got up on stage and asked everybody to give a round of applause to the staff that was there, Tash, Carla, Andrew, Brandon, Danielle. They did a great job. And last, but certainly not least, tonight is Pumpkin Stroll. I'm disappointed I'm missing it. This is the first time I'll miss it. We should have changed council meeting night there, Mayor. Yeah. So I was talking to Stephen pretty earlier today, and he said to me, he said, please pass on our thanks to council for all the support we get from town staff for this event. They're the best. And my inside info tells me that there are over 1,000 pumpkins lit up. And as of 6:30, there was over 500 people gone through. So that's quite an undertaking for the volunteers of the community garden to take on. And we appreciate it. And all the pumpkins, they get composted and that. So there's no wastage, and it's a great way to take care of the community gardens. Thank you, Your Worship.
Is it working? There it is. Okay, I can hear myself now. Yeah, no, the pumpkin walk, I thought the same thing this morning. Bad timing for sure, but of course it's November 1st every year, and we're not here on every November 1st as well. And Councillor Butler, I saw the pictures from the seniors Halloween social yesterday. I didn't see you in them at first. So tell us what you were dressed up like.
I was a long red-haired bombshell.
There you are. There you are.
I got so many compliments.
I think that was one of the comments online.
Yes. What? Oh, gee, thank you so much.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, I mean, people who know me, I have the really short hair, and then I had this long red curly hair.
Yeah.
They did not know it was me.
I didn't recognize you in the first brush of the pictures, and then I went back. I said, I think that's got to be Councillor Butler. Okay. Thank you very much. Councillor Barrett.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to rebound from that, but yeah, just to echo some of the comments made by Councillor Butler, I also a little disappointed this evening. I know my wife and kids were at the pumpkin walk; they really enjoyed it, but you know, we're here to do the town's work, and tonight that is what we will do. So another week and another motor vehicle accident on Peacekeepers Way. I know we've probably seen some of that last week, collision, and I have to say it's incredibly concerning to see the number of collisions that have been occurring this year on the highways. And I can honestly say it was a very refreshing reminder when we got elected last year that the number one priority for the town of Conception Bay South is the safety for residents and staff. And so I've been chatting with the fire chief over the past few days, and for 2022, our fire department has responded to a total of 12 motor vehicle accidents to date on Peacekeepers Way. That includes 5 cases with injuries and at least 1 fatality. And depending on the accident, this was news to me, but depending on the accident, this could be multiple vehicle collisions, but it could also be responding to an ATV collision or a motor vehicle and pedestrian collision. And again, these are just instances our fire department has responded to. I'm sure provincial authorities have likely responded to other events as well. And I know it's interesting terminology because I know these incidents are typically classified as accidents, but I believe that in most cases, accidents are preventable. And if we're adhering to the rules of the road. So for residents, I would like to encourage you to please be safe as we go across our town. I know there are a number of blind turns and we don't always know what's on the other side of them. So let's proceed with caution. But the other side of that is that we are a growing town. We have experienced significant growth over the past number of years, and subsequently our increased level of traffic are present on the road. And so I'd like to join, I guess, our fellow MHAs in asking the province to consider improving and enhancing the safety of Peacekeepers Way. It's a tremendous asset for the town, but I want to make sure we ensure it remains an asset, not a liability or unsafe for fellow residents. So that's it for me. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I want to just give a quick update on the cellular and data services here in CBS. We did hear from Bell, and I had an email from them, and they are doing an analysis and performance test in Conception Bay South, as well as looking at several other sites in the Conception Bay area. They made some adjustments and repairs and have discovered some major problems in some areas. This is all very positive news, that they realize that there is a problem and that they're working on it, and that we're doing everything that we can to work with them to try to get them the information that they need in order to be able to get the service up to par here in CBS. But I need to stress, and I cannot stress this enough, and this came back from the service, Bell, the service provider. We need to hear from their customers, or we don't need to hear from them. They need to hear from their customers. It's very important that people contact them directly, be it Bell or Rogers or TELUS or whatever service provider you're with, to provide details of some of the complaints, issues, concerns that you have. They need the details of where there is poor service or where calls are dropped, so they can try to figure out what the problem is. We need to be more specific than just say the service is poor all over Conception Bay South. We need to be, they need the details. I'll go as far as say it's nice to tell your Facebook friends or community group that poor service is poor in Conception Bay South, but service providers don't read Facebook, they don't read community groups. We need to get that information to the service providers. So if you want to fix, service providers are the people that you need to contact. And I'm encouraging and hoping that people will provide that information to the service provider so we can get this hopefully corrected in the next little while. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Connors, and thank you for taking the lead on that and reaching out to Bell and getting that feedback from them. I mean, the way to get this solved is to work with the providers, so because they're the ones that need to know where the concerns are, and like you said, be specific. Just all over CBS doesn't do it, but they want to know exactly where the issue is and what exactly the issue is, so they can get their equipment out and get it tested and see how they can improve upon it. And I look forward to them improving upon it. So we'll hopefully see some improvements in the next while, but keep up that contact and keep us up to date on it. Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, could I be the first one to put a spot on that list? Are you keeping the list, or
Your councillor to your right?
Councillor Connors?
Please provide that to your service provider, please.
Let's make a list and supply it. My submission would be half kilometer up Minerals Road as far as the overpass. You'll drop your signal there every time. Thank you. And beyond that, Your Worship, last Sunday afternoon at the Legion, we had a drop-in for residents who drop-in session for anyone who wanted to drop by and have a chat about our budget and our budget process. Just want to thank those that did drop in. First of all, it was great to have an opportunity to meet people face to face. Something we haven't done a lot in the last few years. We didn't have a big number, but everybody who came with a legitimate concern, and I just want to thank those for dropping in. The other item, Your Worship, moving up and down Route 60 over the last week, it's nice to see fresh asphalt intersecting Route 60 on some of the streets that we've got done. Neil's Line is done, Dunsell Road is done, LaDrews Road is done. There are those that are still working, and we ask our people to have patience. I'm sure Councillor Tilley may have some comment on that as we go, but you can see at Pine Tree Road, Pond Road, Frog Pond Road, still some work going on, but obviously it is progressing, and it's good to see. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I'll speak to a little bit of budget and our budget consultations later in my report. I'm going to speak to something really good tonight. I love music, so anytime there's an opportunity to celebrate someone who's musically inclined in the community, I certainly like to bring mention to it. This past week, Music NL had their week of celebration, which is actually October 25th to the 30th in Corner Brook. And it finished with their annual awards banquet on the 30th, where our own Justin Fancy won Entertainer of the Year. So we congratulate Justin. And quote the Raven, who is comprised of Jordan Coker and Kristen Rodden Clark. They won Group of the Year, and that's their second time winning Group of the Year. And Kristen is from Conception Bay South. So I just want to say congratulations to those three winners. They make us proud. And I just want to make mention that Jordan and Kristen Rodden Clark are actually performing at Manuel's River on November 25th. I think this is maybe their third time doing a little pre-Christmas show. So it's dinner and an evening of music on November 25th at Manuel's River. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. Yes, and just on the note of music, I think it's important to note the concert held this past Sunday. We Stand on Guard Again, and the support that local company Mary Brown's gave that, held at the Mary Brown Center. But I have to note that when the call goes out to support people in need in this province, people of Conception Bay South come out, and that was true. If you drove through CBS on Sunday, you were lined up out into Route 60 to get into a Mary Brown's, and they weren't doing that because they do it every Sunday. They were doing it. They like Mary Brown's, of course, but they were doing it because they wanted to show their support for the people of the West Coast, the Port aux Basques area in particular. And it was great to see that, actually. And of course, at the end of the day, Mary Brown's gave all the proceeds from Sunday to that cause. And it was a great concert. And of course, Justin Fancy was at that concert. I'm not sure, quote the Raven, were they there? I think they might have been. And along with a whole slew of others. And it was a great event, and hats off to everybody that organized that and did that. Of course, the town here made a contribution earlier the month as well, or last month as well. So it was great to see people come out and support that. Just on another note, and Councillor Tilley touched on it, but Councillor Tilley, myself, will be joining municipal colleagues from across the province this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Gander for the Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador Conference to talk about key issues to municipalities in the province. And there are a number of bigger issues on that agenda this weekend, and I look forward to hearing from the other municipalities and sharing our thoughts with them, and bringing back their ideas and seeing how we can work together to maybe resolve or to find commonalities on some of the issues. So looking forward to that. The last time I was at an MNL conference was in first year I was on counting 2015. So there'll be, of course, in the last couple of years, it's been online only. So it'll be good to be able to speak with those people face to face again and share those ideas. On another note, I know we've heard some comments about road work and about slowdowns and all that sort of thing. As I drove up Neil's Line today, it's a fantastic job up there, isn't it? Not a bump. I could have held a T full right on that way going up the hill, but I just want to say that there is still one area down in that area that is of concern, and that's the sidewalk work in Topsail. And of course, that's been delayed a bit. There's been a couple of issues that have come up there. And what people are finding at nighttime is that they come upon it a bit abruptly, and the cut in the road is over towards the center of one lane. And it makes it a little bit difficult. And I just want everybody to know that our engineering department has reached out to the contractor to discuss, to try to get that situation mitigated a bit down there. It is a little difficult, and I've come upon it myself a few times. Once you've done it once, you know it's there. You kind of look for it, but if you don't know it's there, you might be surprised at how far you've got to get over in the other lane. So hopefully we can see something a little better down there going forward. The other thing I wanted to touch on before we go too much further, I know Deputy Mayor is going to touch on it a little later as well, but we are into full budget discussions here in the town right now, and council and staff and so forth are going over everything that needs to be looked at, and looking at the expenses and the revenues and seeing where we're going to fall this year. And I don't think it comes as any surprise to anyone that everything costs more. The price of everything has gone up. We see it you go to the gas station, you go to the supermarket, you try to buy anything, you're pretty well, either can't get it or it's more money. And that's no different for municipalities. The same with our municipality. We're facing those very same challenges, and and I don't mind saying it's a challenging year, and we're going to be faced with over the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to be faced with some very tough and serious decisions to make for our community going through the next year. We'll work very hard on that to make the best possible decisions to ensure the services that we have and to ensure that the town is operated properly in the way that the citizens expect it to be operated. But there will have to be some tough decisions made on that note. And of course, we're looking out to the public for suggestions on things that they would like to see so that we can hopefully incorporate some of that into the budget. And as Councillor Hillier mentioned, and we had a public session for the first time in 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer, to meet residents. And like you said, not many showed up, but the ones that did came for a reason. And we were happy to hear those concerns and comments on the way they think their town should go forward. So that was very good. And of course, we've had the online survey that has been going on. I'm not sure if that's done now or not. Yeah, it is. It's finished up there now. And we're going to have a roundtable discussion like we did last year. And we're working on scheduling that now over the next couple of weeks. So to get that out there, just so folks can hear some of the things that we're talking about and just to feel a little more familiar with the process that we're in. I believe that is everything for me, and it's probably enough for me for now. So let's get back to the business of the people with the recommendations on the Planning and Development Committee, and that's Chair Rex Hillier.
Let me get the right file up here. No, I think I've got it here now. Thank you.
Technology is great, isn't it?
Technology is great. Yes, Your Worship, these are recommendations that come forward from our October 24th committee meeting. Number 5A, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 15 of the town's fence regulations, application 2275 received on October 3rd, 2022 for a front and rear yard fence at 22 Lodge Road be approved on condition that the fence be a maximum height of 1.2 meters from the front boundary line to the front boundary line of the dwelling and a maximum height of 1.8 meters beyond the front building line of the dwelling. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion? I'm not going to say anything about fences this week, so all in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
5B, be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority at section 13B of the town's fence regulations, application number 1598 received May 9th, 2022 for a fence to be built along the eastern property boundary of 101 Morgan's Road, abutting the road right of way, be approved to a maximum height of 1.8 meters. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Five C, 631 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 8.124 of the town's development regulations, application 2321 received on October 10th, 2022 for the installation of wall signage that exceeds 50% of the width of the front building facade at 631 Conception Bay Highway be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Connors, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, that's one of our commercial buildings where the owner is doing some work on the front of the building, and they've asked for some leeway on the size of the sign on the front.
All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 5D, Ewings Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 201.22, 3, and 4 of the Municipalities Act 1999, the town provide notice of its intention to sell approximately 15 square meters of land at Ewings Road to the adjacent property owner at 62 Cabot Road in consideration that the land is of minimal value to any other person. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Tilly, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Excuse me, Mayor Bent, before Councillor Hillier reads the departmental report, there's an item there that I'm in conflict on with regards to 12 Lodge Road. I have a family member who has property just there close by.
Deputy Mayor, I've got another one before I get to that. So if you want to hang around. Okay. Yes, there was one not entered here. We had scheduled tomorrow evening a commissioners meeting with regarding rezoning at 1621, 1627 Conception Bay Highway, and rezoning public hearings are supplementary to written submissions. We've advertised that in the shoreline. We've reached out to the immediate neighbors. We've advertised in social media. There's no indication in a written form that anyone would be making submissions tomorrow evening. So we will not be going ahead with that meeting as scheduled. The commissioner will still be responsible for submitting a report based on submissions that were received earlier in the process. And based on that report, council will make a decision at a later date as to where we go with that rezoning.
Thank you.
Okay, Deputy Mayor. And yes, Your Worship, these are the blanket recommendation from that meeting. Be it so resolved that decisions or recommendations made at Planning and Development Committee meeting on October 24th, 2022 be accepted as presented. And you can see four more items there that we discussed but didn't require a recommendation to bring forward this evening. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Counselor Hillier. Next, we have recommendations of Engineering and Public Works. Chair, Counselor Gerard Tilly.
Thank you, Your Worship. We just had one recommendation from our committee meeting held on October 25th, 2022. And before I read that, I'll just touch on a few things that we did discuss at that meeting. One was we approved some money for some vent stack repairs to the wastewater treatment plant. And of course, as everyone is aware, we've had unprecedented road construction this year, water and sewer, pavement, sidewalks, all that kind of stuff. And I just want to give a little update. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, water sewer upgrades, Pond Road pipe installation has been completed, and contractor is currently working on a road reinstatement. Pine Tree Road is right next to my place, so I believe all the testing has been completed, and they've actually started doing road reinstatement as well. Tops Road sidewalk, as you mentioned, there's a little slight delay there with an issue, and I think the project manager is going to be meeting with the contractor later. And Frog Pond Road pipe installation is in the last few meters, so that project should be finished pretty soon, and road reinstatement will continue soon after that. So the blanket recommendation, be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Engineering Public Works Committee meeting held on October 25th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it from Public Works, sir.
Thank you, Counselor Tilly. Recommendations from the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. Chair, Counselor Christine Butler. Sorry, I don't know what I was doing there. The chair is Councillor Shelley Morris, but she's not here this evening. So in her place, it's the Councillor Paul Connors.
Thank you.
I covered everybody, I think, in that one.
These are the recommendations of the Recreation Leisure Service Committee held on October 25th, the meeting held on October 25th. 7A is the service agreement on mechanical equipment for the recreational complex. Before I do the recommendation, I'll give you a bit of a background. The service agreement on the mechanic equipment for the recreation complex expires in February 2023. When the current contract was awarded, there was an option to extend this contract for an additional 2 years at the current contract price. The committee discussed this and we feel that it's the best option at this time. So we're recommending extending the current service provider for the additional 2 years. So the recommendation, so be it resolved that the town proceed with entering into 2 optional years in the original contract for the period of February 17, 2023 to February 16, 2024 and February 17, 2024 to February 16, 2025 at a cost of $12,600 plus HST per year as per the original tender 19-19 quota price. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hillier, discussion. All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
All right, so next we have would be the blanket recommendation, but before we do that, there's a couple things I'd like to highlight. The Darrell Reed High School Hockey Tournament is happening up at the arenas at both the CBS, the new arena, CBS Arena and Robert French Memorial Arena on November 10th to the 13th. This is a long-standing high school hockey tournament. Darrell unfortunately went down, was tragically killed on the Ocean Ranger, and that tournament started shortly after that. Probably the longest running high school hockey tournament in Newfoundland and Labrador. So the tournament will have both male and female division, and it will be a great weekend of high school hockey. I encourage everyone to go out and watch. Councillor Tilly already mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it as well. I'm pleased to announce that the CBR or the CB Senior Blues will be returning to the Avalon East League again this year in quest of Conception Bay South's first hurler championship. We got an extremely skilled team and with lots of local talent, lots of players, lots of local talent. Home games are Friday night and they'll be playing 10 home games. So looking forward to exciting senior hockey again this year. Community bonfire. Everyone is invited to come out on Saturday night, November 5th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Nugent's Park in Kelligroves. It is our version of the bonfire night where you can sit next to a fire pit and enjoy marshmallows, hot dogs, and hot chocolate. So to bring along your roasting sticks and come out for a family event. And of course, this is weather permitting, but I looked at the long range forecast and it's looking pretty good. I wanted to mention the Remembrance Day celebrations. The service will be hosted by the Royal Canadian Legion and the town, of course, on November 11th at the monument just outside the town hall here. There will be a parade to the monument starting at 10:15 with the ceremony to follow at the Monument of Honor. Everyone is welcome to attend. Anyone looking to lay a wreath during the ceremony should contact the Royal Canadian Legion and they'll arrange so you can do that. Finally, the final thing I wanted to mention before I do the blanket recommendation is the town of Conception Bay South is excited to announce that Santa Claus is coming to town. The Santa Claus parade will take place on Saturday, December 3rd at 10 a.m. Like in the past few years, the parade will travel along Route 60, starting at Villanova High School or Villanova High and Villanova Junior High, sorry, and ending at the Conception Bay South Town Hall. If it's rain, or I guess the dirty word, if it's snow, the snow date would be Sunday, December 4th. Full information on road closures and accessibility can be, and shuttle services, or to register a float can be found on our town website. Now the blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation Leisure Services Committee meeting on October 25th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler, discussion. The great thing about the Santa Claus parade in Conception Bay South is that the real Santa Claus comes to Conception Bay South, not one of his helpers. So that's a fantastic selling point of our Santa Claus parade for sure. Isn't that right, Councilor Tilley? Absolutely. Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Connors. Now, we are moving on to recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services Committee Chair, Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. So the recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services Committee for October the 24th are as follows. 8A is our accounts payable check register. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $497,506.02 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
So Mayor Bent, for manual checks, our item 8B, I'm in conflict with this register as there's a deposit check there pertaining to my business. And I'm going to turn this over to Councillor Tilley.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $82,837.21. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, your worship, this is just our daily business. Got to pay the bills.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Next item is 8C, our capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $590,855.25 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Tilley, discussion?
Mayor Bent, this is our ongoing projects, our capital projects. Biggest part of that is our roads work, which Councillor Tilley spoke to there earlier. So the numbers are getting smaller with each capital project register. Soon our work will be clued up for the season.
Yes. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item 8D, tax and other receivables adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivables accounts as follows. There's 4 items here that we're bringing forward, 3 approvals and 1 request denied. Based on, this is just standard procedure. We review some requests that come in for tax adjustments, and this is what we're bringing forward for approval this evening. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Hillier, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item, 8E, donation request, Queen Elizabeth Regional High School. Be it so resolved that approval be given for the donation of $250 to Queen Elizabeth Regional High School in support of their annual scholarship and awards program. Funds are available as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Hillier, discussion?
We do this every year. It's a donation to their awards night for their scholarships. This is just a standard that we do every year in support of the program.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And our next item, 8F. It's not coming up on my computer. It's frozen. Okay, well, I got a paper copy. I'm good. Donation request, and this is for the Holy Spirit High School. Be it so resolved that approval be given for the donation of $250 to Holy Spirit High School in support of their annual scholarship and awards program, and funds are available as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors, discussion.
And this is again the same as Queen Elizabeth. This is their scholarship awards night, and that's our contribution to the graduation class. Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And I'm not getting that opened. The next item, 8G, ISIP funding application is not on the paper report. But it's not opening. Oh, okay, thank you, Liz. Now it's gone. Wait now. Lost it. Oh my God, how much technology does do you need? It's gone, Liz.
Just click on this.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta use. It's an old fashioned computer.
I got them all.
I guess we'll have to call Bill.
Okay.
Do you want me to sing?
I got it. Be it so resolved that the town of Conception Bay South make application for cost share funding through the Municipal Capital Works call for applications with the Municipal Infrastructure Division of the Department of Transportation Infrastructure in the total amount of $70,300,000 for the projects listed in the attached table. The town of Conception Bay South agrees to provide its share of the cost shared funding of $112,106 for these projects, should they be selected for funding, and acknowledges that project costs above the approved project total cost will be the sole responsibility of the town. So moved.
Seconder. Seconded by Counselor Tilly. Discussion.
You're voting yes. I can't vote.
Yes, Deputy Mayor, I think this is the last call for ISEP.
It is,
Yeah.
yes. It's last cost for ISIP. This is our wish list. So we put it all out there and see what sticks, see what we can avail of. So anyway, it's the last call, and that's it. And I'm still frozen.
Yeah, I just hit my back button at the top and went back in and it works. So maybe if you give that a
Okay,
go,
now.
it might help.
Oh my God, it's getting hot in here. All this technology failing me this evening.
Your worship, can I just comment on that as well? I'll comment on that as well.
Yes, please.
You know, I don't know if the public understands, you know, how much, like $70 million is a lot of work, and, you know, we can, if we were, God, pray that we ever get all that 70 million, you know, it only costs the town 20 million. So, you know, it just shows, you know, that our staff are really looking for ways for us to do projects and save a lot of money, right? So, you know, in all my years on council, I've never seen a $70 million dream come in 1 year, but there's always 1 year that we can be hopeful for that.
Any other comments? And of course, the big ask in that is, and it's cost shared with the federal government and the provincial government. So the big ask in that, of course, is community center. So
Community center. Yeah,
we'll wait and see how that goes. Hey,
yeah.
Um,
It's our dream. It's our dream list, you know?
it is absolutely. And
So-
hopefully we'll get there.
Departmental report.
I'm
Last
gonna
item.
call for a vote on that though.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Okay, it's official now, Deputy Mayor.
Last item for me is the departmental report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations of the Finance and Administrative Services meeting held on October 24th be accepted as presented. Capital change orders, draft procurement, policy update, donation requests, budget 2024 review, and library lease. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors, discussion.
So as you can see on that, we've been having some budget conversations, budget review, and we had our public consultation, budget consultation on October 23rd at the Legion. We had a few people who came out, and we had some very open conversations. There was the concepts of ATV trails, inflation, ongoing projects in the town, sidewalks. These were some of the items that were discussed. Of course, inflation is top on everyone's minds these days. Of course, we're living with it day to day. Every time you go to the supermarket or you fill up with gas, it's a surprise, so we're keeping that top in our mind. The inflationary rates, the price of everything is certainly affecting the town and the town's day-to-day business. And moving forward towards our budget consultations, we're keeping that in mind. We're going to dig deep. We're going to do our best, but these are not easy times. And just wanted to let everyone know there's some upcoming things. We have our online survey complete. We're going to have some roundtable discussions to follow up, and as much input as we can get from the public. We want to hear from you, and we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best by you. So that's it for me. Thanks.
So all in favor of the departmental report? Contrary minded? Carried. I'm not sure. Did we have a seconder on that? Okay, good. Okay, recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, and as promised earlier, Councillor Christine Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. And my intel tells me we are now at 1,165 people at the pumpkin stroll. Now, isn't that something?
That's 1,165 people who have
Yeah.
missed the council meeting. I can't believe it.
Well, I'd be there
Shocked
if
at that
council
number.
meeting wasn't on, so
They can watch it later, of course, on YouTube.
that's great. Before I get to the blanket recommendation, which is the only one there for economic development there tonight, a little update on the town's 11th annual Bright Business Achievement Awards, which were presented on October 19th at Manuel's River during a luncheon attended by the business community. Sponsors and the town, attended by the business community, sponsors and the town. 29 businesses and 3 individuals were nominated and recognized in 8 categories, and presentations were made to 7 special businesses who were fortunate to win an award. Award presentations for the remaining winners will take place this week. Congratulations to all nominees and winners. A full list can be found on the town's website. And of course, we can never do many of the things we do here without recognizing the support and input of sponsors and supporters of the Bright Business Achievement Awards, including annual sponsors TD Canada Trust, Business Development Bank of Canada, and CBDC, Cabot, and partners at the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce and Downtown CBS. So blanket recommendation, be it so resolved that recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of October 25th, 2022 be accepted as presented, and you'll see the list of these things that we discussed at the meeting. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Sorry, if I
Oh,
could just
sorry.
interject real quick. I just want to recognize the new executive director of the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. It's I guess it's public out in the open now. Julia Bloomquist has taken over that role, and I'm sure she didn't miss the pumpkin walk. She's a key volunteer for the community garden, and we've gotten to know her a fair bit over the past year, and I think she will serve that role well. And she was also at our budget consult, and certainly looking forward to her continued collaborations with the chamber.
Anyone else? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Butler. Other committee reports. Does anyone have anything to report? Yes,
I do.
Councillor Butler.
Seniors Advisory Committee met on October 20th. And our meetings have been focused on the age-friendly survey. So we're in the process of working on an action plan. This will identify short, medium, and long-term goals that are attainable based on the input from residents who participated in the survey. This action plan will benefit the seniors in our town, and the Seniors Advisory Committee are playing an integral role in this process. And I will say that I'm looking forward to the action plan, and hopefully down the road, maybe some discussions with council on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Anyone else have a committee report from one of the committees councillors sit on? Okay, barring that, we're at the end of another council meeting, so we'll be back here again on November the 15th for the next public council meeting. So in the meantime, everyone stay safe and we'll see you then. I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Contrary minded? Thank you very much and good evening.